Hello and welcome. We're going to get stuck in straight away. Let's get cracking.
was a bit of a spectacular spectacular crash. I've got to be honest, Courseplay's a little bit off it today. It's like sitting there like thinking I don't know where I'm going, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'm not so. I don't know that it'd be very easy for anyone to follow lands. I've done Spiral a few times with Courseplay. That can be useful on certain types of fields, but I thought lands was the one where you're going across ways, but it's sort of like goes very far out and then hooks back in. It's a bit complicated, and I don't think a human could do it very well. I know combine drivers get good, but like to actually go and almost like measure, I mean, the AI can do it perfectly well, and Coursplay can measure it out perfectly well, so they can just like do their lines. But for a human being to do that, I think most humans would choose to just stick so that you would like starting on the lines, and if you would, you got, I mean, this is a big field for a 10,000 litre tanked case. It really is. I became, again, I knew that first time we were gonna blow things out of the water, really, but I'm playing this storyline wise. Yeah, obviously we've had thieves and they've literally robbed us of everything, so yeah, I just thought, how could you, I always do this, how do you play this disaster, because it is a disaster. Obviously the game's gone wrong and we've lost, and we really did have a shed load of stuff. We were about to get rich again. I mean, we just literally, I vaguely remember there were hundreds of thousands. We were at the back end of the year, and now we've got nothing. Literally, someone's robbed us of every last little bit of things, and that's why I thought it's really apt, in a way, to actually do this field again and to do the barley. That's why I thought, it's true. So we've sort of starting again. Well, not completely. Obviously, we've already done well. We've got £1 million sort of pounds, 1.3 million. Dollar field, so again, not bad at all. We do need, the other thing that I thought, well, it's about time we bought some cows. We really need to do the dairy stuff ourselves, so yeah, we're gonna have to do that too. I would send this back and we'll do all of the cleanup now. So I mean, well, I'm quite sure that we did the bale, so we've filled that. I altered I always wanted that. Obviously, it is a straw storage sort of depot, so it was only, I knocked it up by like copying another one with the same storage levels. Well, obviously that was all right for that one, but it's not all right for a straw factory. It really has got a lot of straw. I do like this one. I really do. I love the graphics on it. It actually looks really quite nice for a straw type. Yeah, like straw boards. I really think that's quite punchy. Yeah, I was going to use the little, I thought, you can't charge across a field like 8 miles an hour with this. This is its weakness. So this, yeah, the GT, as we did that first year, really, did do a very, very good job. I think we've about filled that storage as well. I also think, looking at it, that we need a second guar, or I need to ramp them up a bit. They do about 2,500 litres per month, or including the bits. I think that's a bit poor for all of those particular guavine things. I think that was sort of quite poor. So I really think we need to, well, I've got straw hats and straw baskets already. Now then, is there anything else we need to do for the straw? It's a long time since I've done it. We need to put, yeah, with the guar glue, we need water in here for it. So we could really do with chucking a load of water in one of the production silos. Yeah, I must as well fix it. I have tried. I've been multiple times to try and fix the production size on why they won't actually put the straw. Yeah, I'm sure I checked this not long back, and it still is being awkward. Let's just do a bit of. Yeah, you will note that the grate is an awful lot smaller than last time. I did actually. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that you would notice that, but what I mean is, yes, just also get rid of that. We will do a bit of painting on this as well. Oh, it goes to horrible, like, yeah, we will do a bit of painting. And we will split the fields. I was debating and deliberating, do we split the fields? I thought it really does make sense. I mean, we do want to go into the other vegetables as well, because we've got the, like, half of the luxury desserts, and obviously we've also got the barley, but I think that barley would last, like, the other thing is, what I would like to do is we only had a standard whiskey factory. Now I only had a standard whiskey factory, but now I've actually made, I've made a bionic and a super. It should have worked. We should just have a look now. So it should be 47, and a super would be 77 for this. So it should be 3 lots of that. One at 47, and that's if I've done it right in the game. Yeah, that is fantastic. So that has worked. So this is twice as good as the one we've got. And then there's the 77. I don't know that I want a super. I don't know that the super's necessary for us to do. Just want to make sure I have actually done it though, and it's actually show. Yeah, it is fantastic. So I did that earlier. Yeah, so I really do want to have a look and see. And the other thing is, I thought our equipment was a bit better than this. I was like looking, I think, all my life. I mean, we've got a little Osdoken row. I think the reason we were so low is we bought that massive Dalbo because it's really very in keeping with the large fields of this map. So yeah, so we sort of, unfortunately, we've been robbed blind, and obviously we've sort of started again with where we were before, but I do think we did better. Yeah, I really do think that perhaps it was, although Precision Farming was on and I didn't have the data or anything like that, so really not being nasty. The other thing is, there's 33 tons in this, and there should be in the huge 144, so that's 177 odd, but I think also there is some in I think it's more than that. We had 108 odd a few minutes ago. So, and then obviously we've got this 10 ton, so that would be 190. But I think we had 181 tons before it popped across 3 minutes ago. So I'm sure it was 181 when I was standing over it, which means it would be 191, almost 200,000 litres of barley. That really should keep us. I think if we went, again, actually, I'm intrigued on seeing how well a bionic keeps up. The supers tend to be, as the label says, every single super I've tried, only just done the supers, started to use the supers as well, and they really are very, very fantastic. Yeah, they really are super, as you'd expect, really. But I mean, they're not all 77. It depends on, because obviously some of these things are like specialists and they're dearer anyway, and then others, if it was like a bionic dairy, they're not too bad. They're only 27,000 for a bionic and 47 for a super. So again, I don't think I've ever, and if I had I don't know whether we would need, I think obviously we'll do the cows over here. There is definitely still room over this side to have our, and I do definitely think, I reckon I should ramp these up. I think it should be doing, with that amount of guar beans, I would imagine, really, I would think in a full, if you're going to split a harvest into, like, divided by 12, that would be 25, 30 odd tons. Is that about right for a greenhouse in real sort of terms? I mean, you've sort of got to like cross-reference this to like, well, what would you really get from them? It's a massive greenhouse, and also, I mean, it may well have double. Not really. No, you can't really do that. I think the aisles are a bit big. I think if you did this in real life, you'd probably do double, like a double layer on the left and a double layer on the right, and have quite thin aisles. Maybe then you'd do a little bit more. But again, we've not done that. I could do that. I could actually put more planter boxes in there, and like, but that's only for visuals. But I mean, I suppose then you could. I'm not sure if you could do more guar beans. I mean, I'm not sure if there is a limit to how many you do, and whether the limit makes them go worse or whatever. But I don't think we're too far off at that, I suppose. I think we'll put another one down, and then other thing we'll do is we'll stick the animals down next session. That was a monster of a session, I've got to be honest. That has taken me about 4 hours. So that is like, I knew this was going to be big, but obviously we sorted the mess out, and I thought, oh, let's crack on and let's sort of like really sort of sort this mess out and actually get stuck in again. So obviously there's still a lot of fallout. Not sure what we're going to do with the rice, because we sort of got enough businesses. Oh, it's nice to see the chickens. it is. We also need to put a honey spawn place, things like that, which we'd already paid for. So there's still a few little bits and bobs. Also, we had quite a few of these scattered around the fields. So again, I don't mind doing that. Although I might actually stick one in the middle this time. Now we're splitting the field, just stick one in there, and that really would mean that we did about 6 of those at 2,500. So that's 12 or 13,000. Also, we're owed for that. Yeah, so maybe the other guar greenhouse could be sort of like that. I don't think that's too far off, because there's still going to be other things. And I mean, obviously we paid for the ramps and things like that. That was new. I thought that, but I thought, well, yeah, but what about the other end? I suppose you could put one near the sort of silo for that little one, really. Until I get my ramp sorted for doing that. But it really, when I got on the field with it, I thought, I'm not sure this is a good idea to like charge around the map with this. So, right, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.